What's up, guys? InTheWorks, and we are playing some Bad Company 2 Vietnam. And a lot of you guys demanded that I post some of this because you found out that I had been playing it quite recently. If you watched my AverMedia Live Gamer HD review, you saw that I slipped in a little Bad Company 2 Vietnam there as a little teaser. And a lot of you guys were like, Jake, how could you do this to us? How could you play the game and record it and not do actual full-length videos on it? So I was like, all right, I'll post some up, because it's that time of year again where I'm playing games that maybe I didn't get enough, I didn't get a chance to sit down and play enough as much as I would like. And I think Vietnam is a good example of that. Now, this may not be a game that came out last year. In fact, this came out in, what was it, 2010, I believe. So it's about to hit its 2 years. That's kind of strange to think about, that this expansion has been out for 2 years, but this was kind of the swan song for Bad Company 2, and it's very bare bones. And I don't say that as an insult. I actually praise it for that, because it lacks a lot of the frills that a lot of modern FPS expansions have. There's no optical sights, and it really has a good atmosphere. It really feels like you're in the Vietnam era, and that's what I really love about it. It's like the blend of a modern shooter and a World War II shooter. It's, Vietnam wasn't that far removed from World War II. I mean, even in this game, there's like the M1A1, there's the Thompson, there's the I think the M1 Grand is in here. So there's a lot of World War II weapons in this game. I mean, they're probably just paying tribute to them, but it's not so far-fetched to think that, some of the weapons that were used in World War II, the Vietnam rebels, or I guess that's if we want to call it that, the NVA, we'll just call them that, the North Vietnamese Army, it's not so far-fetched to think that they actually used some hangovers from World War II, because, they were supplied a lot by the Chinese and the Russians and stuff like that. And, I stole this tank. I'm not going to lie, I stole this tank, but I feel like I deserve it. I shot it in the butt, I scared the guys out of it, I killed the driver, and I went over there because I saw he was repairing it. I feel like I did all the work. Why should he get the tank? That doesn't make me a bad guy, does it? And I'm not the best in this tank. I'm going to be the first to admit that I'm not the most skilled in the Bad Company 2 tanks. It took me a while to kind of get used to it, because they do kind of drive a lot differently than the Battlefield 3 tanks. But I think that's what I like so much about playing this game, is that I'm not very good at it. It's like a game that you want to get better at. It's like, okay, I'm not good at this. Let's figure out how we can be better. And I really like that. I think I like a challenge. I think maybe that's why I'm bored with Battlefield 3. It's just like I've done everything there is to do, and I was playing on my alternative account the other day, and I was like, man, it's just same old, M16s rule the day, same old, same old. So I think that's why I've been enjoying playing a lot of different games, and it seems like you guys have enjoyed watching them. I was really, really happy with all the support I got with my Borderlands 2 video, because I actually put a lot of thought into that video for you guys. I actually was hoping that you could take some, information from that, and maybe it'll help you if you actually use the assassin build. But I'm going off on a pretty big tangent, and that's not like me. I like to stick to the topic, but we're talking about the era of Vietnam, and I don't know how we got on Borderlands 2, but it's something about the atmosphere of this game that's very engaging, and I think a lot of modern games have gotten away from that. They've gotten away from the simplicity, because like I said, there's not a lot of optical attachments in this game. There's different scopes for like some of the sniper rifles and stuff like that, but for the most part, you're pretty limited on what you have, and that's one of the cool things about it. I like that. I kind of feel like it's like, okay, iron sights, even playing field, everybody has pretty much the same weapons. I'm using the PPSH, the Papashov, I think that's what it's actually called. And I enjoy it. It's fun. It shoots lead really fast, but it doesn't have a very big magazine, and you don't have to worry about how it's balanced to the other ones, because there's not that many weapons to balance to. Because if you think about Battlefield 3, it's got like, what, 65 to like 70 different weapons, including secondary and launchers and C4 and knife and stuff like that. So there's a lot of factors you have to consider, whereas with this, there's not that much to really play around with. It's all pretty much on paper. What you see is what you get, and that's one of the fun things about this particular game, at least right now for me. Now, I really wish I would have played more of it when it was in its height, because like I said, the atmosphere of this game is very engaging to me. I know my buddy Sweat, who I've been playing this game with pretty exclusively, he's a pretty big fan of this, and he's always wanted, that Vietnam shooter or like a World War II shooter. He's really big into those. whereas like the masses, they tend to be the opposite. And oh, I watched this clip right here. This was pretty cool. I hit the helicopter and I was like, look at that, Jake, you're getting the hang of it. That was a pretty baller into that helicopter too. I kind of wish the Battlefield 3 animations looked like that. You know, that spin out where it kind of crashes in the ground and the rotors just kick the dirt up. I thought that was pretty cool when I saw that. But anyways, back on topic. The atmosphere of the games are so much different now. You know, like modern shooters are what's popular. People want to play the modern day first-person shooter, whereas in the past, we had an oversaturation of World War II shooters, and I really wonder if we'll ever be able to go back to the World War II era. It doesn't seem like gamers really want to go back to that. They're either, you know, new or futuristic, and Black Ops 2 even. I wouldn't really call that a futuristic shooter. It's kind of a blend of the near future because it is only 2025, which is not really that far away. That's in like 13 years, so it's not really futuristic, but it's still post our modern day era. And I wonder if we'll ever be able to go back to World War II, because it's really something, an atmosphere that I enjoy. But I think one of the things that kind of limits the potential of stuff like that is the attachments, is the need to have multiple weapons, you know, hundreds and hundreds of weapons at your disposal. I think that's what the modern day shooter kind of provides gamers, and I think that's why people like it so much better, because they like that RPG element, you know, the ability to choose several different things. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Would you like to see some more World War II shooters? But we did win. I would never post a loss. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam gameplay. And if you missed any of my other videos, now's the chance to catch up. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.